They're teaching you to numb yourself, to smile while you bleed, to accept your chains, to call your cage wisdom. And the worst part, you're thanking them for it. Right now, millions of people are poisoning their own power, thinking it makes them strong. But one man saw through this lie, and what he discovered will make you question everything you've been told about strength. You're scrolling through motivational content at 2 a.m., another sleepless night, another video telling you to just accept it, to control your emotions, to be unbothered. You try. God, you try so hard. But deep down, something screams that this isn't right, that accepting everything is accepting nothing. That voice, it's not weakness. It's the part of you that refuses to die. What if I told you that your anger isn't the problem? What if your pain, your rage, your refusal to just let go? What if these are your superpowers? See, there's a philosophy spreading like wildfire. Everyone's preaching it. Your favorite influencers swear by it. They call it wisdom. They call it maturity. But 150 years ago, one philosopher called it something else: voluntary castration of the soul. And once you understand why, you'll never look at self-improvement the same way again. You're about to discover why the most dangerous philosopher in history declared war on the world's most popular philosophy. But first, you need to understand what they're really teaching you. And I promise, the reason will shock you. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't just disagree with Stoicism. He saw it as humanity's greatest betrayal. While everyone was praising Marcus Aurelius, while Seneca's quotes were spreading through Rome, Nietzsche saw what nobody else would admit. Stoicism is cope. It's what you tell yourself when you've given up on changing anything. Accept what you cannot control. That's slave morality. Be indifferent to pain. That's choosing death while you're still breathing. Here's what Nietzsche knew that changes everything. Your suffering isn't meant to be accepted. It's meant to be fuel. But here's where it gets dark. And if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, good. You're supposed to. Nietzsche called Stoics self-tyrannizers. Think about that word, self-tyrannizers. You become your own dictator, your own oppressor, and you call it discipline. The Stoics say, don't let external things disturb you. Nietzsche says, let them disturb you. Let them transform you. Let them make you dangerous. See, Stoicism teaches you to retreat into a fortress of indifference, to build walls so high that nothing can touch you. But Nietzsche understood something the Stoics feared. You're not meant to be untouchable. You're meant to be unstoppable. There's a concept Nietzsche called Amor, Fati, love of fate, but not the Stoic version. Not accept your fate. Embrace it so hard it becomes your weapon. When life breaks you, don't numb the pain, feel it, use it. Let it forge you into something terrifying. The Stoics want you calm. Nietzsche wants you volcanic. But wait, this is where most people misunderstand everything. And what happened to Michael proves it. Michael was the perfect Stoic. Never complained, never got angry, always at peace. His friends admired his composure. His boss loved his acceptance of overtime without protest. Then one day, Michael realized something horrifying. He hadn't felt alive in years. He'd become a ghost in his own life, watching, accepting, enduring. That's what happens to people who choose Stoicism. They pride themselves on feeling nothing, on being above it all. But Nietzsche saw the truth. They're not above anything. They're beneath everything. They've confused numbness with strength, surrender with wisdom. I'll prove it to you. The Stoic says, I don't need anything. The Ubermensch says, I'll take everything and make it mine. The Stoic says, this too shall pass. The Ubermensch says, this will make me stronger than you can imagine. The Stoic says, I accept my suffering. The Ubermensch says, I'll transform my suffering into power. You know that person who's always fine, always handling it well, always at peace? They're dying inside and they're calling it enlightenment. But here's the terrifying part that nobody talks about. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. Nietzsche discovered that Stoicism is actually a survival mechanism for the weak. Not weak as in bad, weak as in broken by life. When you can't change your circumstances, you change your desires. When you can't win, you redefine losing as winning. The Stoics created a philosophy for slaves, literally. Epictetus was a slave. Marcus Aurelius ruled a dying empire. They needed a way to cope with powerlessness. So they called powerlessness power. But you're not a slave, you're not ruling a dying empire. You're living in the age of infinite possibility, and they're teaching you ancient coping mechanisms. If this is making you angry, good. That anger is your soul waking up. Nietzsche's will to power isn't about dominating others. It's about refusing to dominate yourself. It's about saying, I will not tame my desires. I will not accept my limitations. I will not make peace with mediocrity. The Stoics fear chaos. Nietzsche dances with it. The Stoics avoid suffering. Nietzsche transmutes it into greatness. The Stoics seek peace. Nietzsche seeks becoming. And here's the part that will haunt you forever. Every time you've suppressed your anger instead of channeling it, every time you've accepted instead of fought, every time you've chosen peace over power, you've been practicing self-castration and calling it wisdom. But there's something even darker about why society pushes Stoicism so hard. And when you understand this, everything clicks. They want you Stoic because Stoics don't rebel. Stoics don't demand more. Stoics don't flip tables. Stoics don't burn down systems. Stoics accept. Think about who benefits when you're at peace with inequality, with injustice, with your own limitation. It's not you. Remember Jessica? She practiced Stoicism for 3 years, meditated every morning, journaled about acceptance every night. Then her company laid off half her department while giving executives bonuses. The old Jessica would have accepted it. It's beyond my control, she would have said. But something in Nietzsche's words had awakened her. She didn't accept. She fought, started her own company, hired every person they'd fired. Today she's worth millions, not because she found peace, because she found power. Nietzsche knew that real strength isn't about controlling your emotions. It's about becoming so powerful that nothing requires control. Not because you're numb to it, but because you've transformed beyond it. This is the difference between Stoic acceptance and Nietzschean affirmation. The Stoic accepts suffering to minimize it. The Übermensch affirms suffering to transcend it. The Stoic says, I am not my emotions. The Übermensch says, I am becoming through my emotions. The Stoic builds walls. The Übermensch builds wings. You've been taught that your darkness is the enemy. Your anger is wrong. Your hunger is greed. But Nietzsche whispers, your darkness is your power. Your anger is your fuel. Your hunger is your destiny calling. And if you're feeling that shift right now, like something inside you is breaking free, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. Right now in this moment, you have a choice. You can close this video. Go back to your Stoic quotes. Keep numbing yourself. Keep accepting. Or you can admit what you've always known. You weren't born to accept. You were born to overcome. You weren't born for peace. You were born for power. Not power over others. Power over what you could become. The Stoics want you to be a stone, unmoved, unchanged, unfeeling. Nietzsche wants you to be lightning, destructive, creative, alive. Listen, I know this feels dangerous, like you're crossing a line just by considering it. That's because you are. You're crossing from death to life, from acceptance to creation, from being controlled to becoming uncontrollable. Marcus tried Stoicism for a decade, built his whole identity around it, became the guy everyone went to for wisdom. But inside, he was screaming. Then he read one paragraph of Nietzsche, just one. It said, the secret for harvesting from existence the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment is to live dangerously. Marcus quit his safe job that week, moved to Thailand, started the business he'd been accepting he'd never have. His Stoic friends said he'd lost his mind. 6 months later, he sent them a photo from his beach office. The caption read, I didn't lose my mind, I found my soul. That's what happens when you stop accepting and start conquering. So here's my challenge. For the next 24 hours, stop accepting. Start becoming. When something pisses you off, don't breathe through it. Ask, how can I use this rage to create? When pain hits, don't numb it. Ask, what is this trying to teach me about my power? When chaos comes, don't seek peace. Dance with it. Let it show you who you really are. Because here's the final truth Nietzsche knew. The opposite of Stoicism isn't chaos. It's creation. The opposite of acceptance isn't resistance. It's transformation. The opposite of peace isn't war. It's becoming who you were meant to be. If this video found you, it's not coincidence. It's your wake-up call. Your soul is screaming for you to stop accepting and start conquering. Not the world, yourself, your limitations, your old story. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you're done accepting, what you're ready to conquer. I read every single one, and if you felt that shift, that moment where your old self started dying and your real self started breathing, share this with exactly one person. Someone who needs to hear this. Someone who's been too stoic for too long. But choose carefully. Not everyone is ready for this truth. Subscribe if you're ready to stop being stoic and start being sovereign, because what's coming next will make this look like child's play. The philosopher they feared most is about to become your greatest teacher. Welcome to your transformation. Welcome to becoming dangerous. Welcome to life beyond acceptance.